Today we are going to jump back in our plane and fly a bit north and east of where we were in Cambodia to another ancient culture even older than those found in Indochina. And this culture is, of course, the Chinese. Historic documentation shows evidence of Western men having contact with these peoples, dating far back in history, with traders and explorers like Marco Polo traveling the Silk Road to reach China. China has been a closed society for a very long time, and they have always been quite wary of outsiders, so much so that they built a massive wall to keep everybody out. They believe that anyone not of Chinese heritage is a barbarian, and any techniques of craftsmanship or products had to be smuggled out at the risk of death if discovered. Ancient Chinese silk is one example of this sort of technology containment, and its release to the world was quite a historic event, with fashions being set ablaze with silk garments of phenomenal quality and style. But it is not so much the textiles of China that we will be focusing on today, but rather their ancient structures and some obscure caves in a region near Kuzhou. These caves, or grottos as some call them, are massive in scale and appear to have been carved by hand out of the native sandstone of this area. Just outside the medium-sized city of Kuzhou is a small town or village called Longyou, and local farmers use several ponds there to retrieve water for as long as anyone could remember. Then in 1992, a few of the locals became curious as to why these ponds never ran dry. They always remained full during the dry seasons as well as in the wet seasons, no matter how much water was removed. So these locals decided to drain one of them, and after several days of pumping water out by hand, realized they needed more powerful pumps. They managed to obtain 2 motorized pumps, and after several days of pumping, they found the interior area of a massive cavern measuring over 11,000 square feet, with a height of 98 feet and a depth of roughly 120 feet. And this cavern was old, very old, with some estimates dating them as far back as 2,500 to 4,000 years old. The Chinese, on the whole, are quite well known for their meticulous record-keeping, yet no historical records anywhere cite the existence of these caverns, and local, regional, as well as national record sources have been utilized, yet none cite these caverns at all, and many find this very odd indeed. The locals, along with outside archaeological representatives, did some further research and found 5 more of these caverns, with each having very similar interior dimensions, and a total of 19 of these caverns have been discovered, but only 5 of them have been drained. One of the big questions that has arisen during this discovery and reclamation process is, just what happened to all of the material that was removed? In-depth searches all around the area and further afield have not discovered any spoil piles at all. Some have speculated that the material was crushed and used as base material for roadworks centuries ago. But again, there is no records of any such effort, and the Chinese keep records of these kinds of construction projects. There are many theories as to how these were carved, with some even stating that the ancient Chinese had the help of extraterrestrials, or that modern-like machinery was used to carve them out, but research has indicated that these were in fact carved out by hand, and it would have been quite a monumental task to do this work, and it would have taken quite some time to accomplish. The walls in one of these caverns has relief carvings depicting what appear to be travelers with the ocean waves lapping at their feet, and one of the people is astride a donkey and is holding a scroll of some sort. Over the years, researchers have attempted to determine exactly when these were made, but dating techniques with stone is guesswork at best, since stone cannot be dated like organic material can be. But no matter the age of these caverns, they are, in fact, quite mysterious. Were they used as reservoirs in ancient times? Or were they dwelling places for citizens from some long-lost bygone era in Chinese history? These are questions that, at present remain unanswered, and further research is required to get a definitive answer to that question. They have been thoroughly cleaned, and safety apparatuses have been installed, along with modern multicolored LED lighting, and structural supports have been installed around certain stone support columns. And these caverns have become quite a great source of revenue for the area, with visitors coming from all over the world to view them and study their massive proportions. They are, like many other structures found around the world, a true mystery from the past that have not yet been truly deciphered. The caves are very large considering their man-made origin. The average floor area of each cave is over 11,000 square feet, with heights of up to 98 feet, and the total area covered is in excess of 320,000 square feet. The ceiling, wall, and pillar surfaces are all finished in the same manner, with a series of parallel bands or courses about 24 inches wide, containing parallel chiseling marks set at an angle of about 60 degrees to the axis of the course. Over the centuries, these caves have maintained their structural integrity and do not interconnect with each other at all. About 120 miles to the northwest can be found the Huashan grottos at the riverbanks of the Xinan River, and these grottos somewhat resemble the Longyou caves, but are likely to have been built more than 1,500 years later. Most likely during the late Ming dynasty from 1552 to 1667, but are equally as spectacular and are just as massive as the Longyou caves. I should very much like to thank you all for joining us on this tale, and I hope it was enjoyable to you all. Please take the time to like and subscribe, as this helps us a great deal in continuing to put forth our content. Again, thank you all so very much. This is Professor Poppycock signing off.